Hello, I am Marcel Khadiev, here to demonstrate how to create a basic tool for 3D Studio Max using the Max.NET framework. The tool we are going to create is going to be a single button form that will allow us to align a bunch of objects to a spline shape. For this tutorial, you should have a basic understanding of how 3D Studio Max works and how to program in C#. At this time, I am using Visual Studio 2008 and 3D Studio Max 2010. You can get the Max.NET wrapper used in this tutorial on the FEARS website. Let's begin by starting up Visual Studio and creating a new project. We will call our project spline-align and make it a class library since we are creating a shared plugin and not an executable. Once project is created, we will need to import the interfaces.dll assembly reference. This is where all of 3D Studio Max interfaces are, which we are going to use in this project. I am adding this reference by going to 3D Studio Max's root folder and selecting interfaces.dll, which was installed there as a part of Max.NET wrapper. Let's rename our class and file to spline-align. We now import the Autodesk.max namespace, where all of Max's interfaces are located. There is also a special interface called IPlugin. We will derive our class from that. Plugin interface tells Max that it should load this class when it is loading. Next, we will create method stubs for the two methods inside IPlugin interface. These are initialize and cleanup. Let's now create a dialog that will be our user interface. Do so by making a new form and call it spline-align dialog. Using the form editor, create a new button in it. I'm going to call my button Align to Spline. Now create a handler for the button's click event by double-clicking on it inside the form editor. Our form will need to take the iGlobal interface so that we can later access 3D Studio Max from it. We will do so by taking the iGlobal variable inside the constructor and storing it inside a class member. Inside the button handler for now, let's simply create a message box that says Hello World. We'll create an instance of this form inside initialize method of the spline-align class. We will also show this dialog right away. Okay, we can now test if our plugin is working at this stage. Let's first build the project. Then copy the build spline-align.dll into Max's plugins/max.net folder. Now start 3D Studio Max. When it is loaded, notice that our spline-align dialog has appeared with it as a separate window. If we click the Align to Spline button now, we get the Hello World message. Great! Let's now do something more useful. Back in the button event handler, we will write an algorithm that takes currently selected scene objects, finds a spline shape among them, and aligns the rest of the objects along the spline shape. After getting the handle to Max's global interface, let's first cycle through the selection and pick out the spline object among them.